Shalom! Hey, how are we doing? How are we doing, everybody? How are we doing? How are we doing? We're here to do our very first tier list, baby. Tier list Tuesdays on a Wednesday. What the? What are we doing? What are we doing? For those in the live, you would know that I was going to stream this yesterday on Tuesday because tier list Tuesday. But yeah, family stuff happened. You know how it is. Life just gets crazy, exhaustion, etc., etc. So we're here on a Wednesday for Tier List Tuesday, and we're gonna be cooking with the tier list for Arc Raiders. We're gonna be covering conditions, map conditions in Arc Raiders, because why not? I want to yap about it. Mostly because in honor of Cold Snap is officially gone. We weren't sure if it was gonna stick around or if it was like just a limited time event. We weren't sure which it was. We now know that is for sure a limited time event is gone. So I figured this was the best time to go and talk about not just the major conditions like Cold Snap, but also just all the conditions, because I could separate them, but as we're going to talk about, I think some of them shouldn't even be major conditions. Some of them should just be regular conditions, and some might actually Hey, you can hear me now. And some of them should be major conditions. Did I nail my point? Do you guys think I got my point across with that one? Do you think I cooked with that? Maybe for some reason I might have threw myself a little bit cooked myself. Whoops. But hey, we're here. We got a tier list, baby. I'm gonna be honest, I don't use tier lists that much. AKA never. This is the first time ever. I'm setting the scene. First tier list. I'm excited. I use a template of maps. So I think as a little bonus run, if you're watching the stream post, you can just go to the timestamp of when we get into the actual conditions. But I feel like it's weird to not do like the first tier list to not be like of maps. I feel like maps are so pivotal that you're like, you know what? Let's just do maps real quick. And it'll give me a time to also mention the tiers we got here. We got S tier, which cream of the crop, top of the top. We are only doing one S tier because I think it's more fascinating that way. It's more interesting. You have to make the decision of like who is the very best. A tier is obviously just very good. It is like there can only be one best, but all these are really, really good. These are like ideal. B, it's like we're getting the category of like it's okay. It's B. I think there's a major drop off from A to B. Like B, it's like it's pretty good. It's that 6 out of 10. It's like it's pretty good, but still very close to the middle of the road. C is like 40%, where it's like I don't really like going to this map. Like I'm not really crazy about this, but it's not bad. Like it's fine. Like it's like we could go there, I guess, but it's like it's not crazy. And then F tier is this needs to change. Honestly, it's just like I don't want to go to this / it's just not worth it. Like C tier is kind of that way where it's like it's kind of not worth it, but F tier is where it's like this should just be changed. They need to change something about this condition. It needs to be changed. Okay, got it. Let's jump in. And obviously how we're gonna do it is we're gonna put all of ours on, and then at the end we'll pick our S tier. All right, which I'll show off with the maps. So for this very first tier list, we're going to actually have 2 different S tiers, because one for the actual maps and then one for the major conditions. Is this going to make it a little bit confusing on the image? No? You guys are smart enough. You guys will figure it out. Okay, very first one is the very first map you get to play on, which is almost says Del Montes, is the Dam Battlegrounds. It is a classic. We'll put it at S tier for now, just as we yap about it. Oh, dude, Dam Battlegrounds is so interesting. I think it's a well-made map. As your very first one, you have like a very interesting splitting off point. Like, I feel like for a lot of players early on, the whole like Dam to the Hydrodome, just really the dam part. That whole main middle section feels like the dam. But then, like, also the Hydrodome section is really good. It feels weird when you talk about, like, high rarities, which, hey, low-key, maybe in the future we might do a whole tier list on high rare, like, red zones, and rank that. But, like, to kind of hit on that, like, as a red zone, a high loot value area, Hydrodome's kind of weird. Don't we think? Hydrodome is kind of it feels weird as like a high loot area. Like, I'll go there, I'm like, oh yeah, this is supposed to be a high loot zone. Right, this is actually solid. Oh, you know what I should do? This is not as important here for this tier list. Let me pull it up. Let's just pull up the actual, like, maps. I feel like that'd be so good for the map spot. This is why I'm not prepped for this. Just to kind of show it serially, where's like a normal map? People have all their like map maker stuff. It's like, that's not what I want. I want like a normal, what it looks like as a player using the map. This shouldn't be this hard. This music though, oh my goodness. Oh my. Alright, I'm saving the image. I'm saving it. Image has been saved. Image has been saved. I can confirm image has been saved. Do I need to turn down the music a time? Golly. Mario, calm down. Calm down. It's not that serious. I know you're having a good time, but it's not a vacation. Come on. This guy. Alright. Let me get the map going. This is just going to help the experience so much. Trust. Did I not actually save it? Whoops. It's an AVIF file. Do you guys know what an AVIF file is? Let me know down below. Do I do this in a scuff way? I feel like this is such a worse way to do it. The most underrated. Okay. We're just gonna use this. This is so scuffed. It's such a scuffed way to do this. I got trust now. Trust. Oh, it's not there. What the heck? Let me see. I don't want to delete something that is bad. Oh, I have it on Windows Capture this one. Okay. Like a good boy. I'm gonna ruin that right here. All right. Can we just make the map? There we go. Thank you, game. Thank you, game. The world of life. All right. So we got map here. It doesn't even show the whole map. What the heck? What is this? What is this garbage? I just want a big map. Give me a big map. Is this the best we get? Why is this so scuffed? All right, I'm finding another one. Audible. I'm following on. You guys deserve a better map. What is this? What are we doing here? Arc. I just looked up Arc Raiders. How about this? Arc Raider map. One of the sites that do like the collective. I guess we could just do Metaforge. Metaforge is a really good interactive map. But that's not what I'm looking for. I just want like the map. Nah, I'm just looking up. I'm trusting Google. Google will help me out, even though I just tried Google and it failed. I guess I could just do this one. It just feels trash. No, actually, this is good. This is good, actually. Oh, we're back. Oh, we're back, baby. Okay. Lock in. Oh. All right. So we got the battlegrounds. We got damn battlegrounds. I feel like a lot of times as players, this section. Honestly, this section. When you think of the damn battlegrounds, you think of this one section a lot of times. And that's mostly because of the loot rooms. Man, you get forged by those loot rooms, man. I'll be honest. You really do. Okay, 6 zoom in. Okay, I did way more than I thought. Yeah, this whole section here, this little L right here. Oh, It's such a good spot. But I like what they did with the dam is not only this little split so you can go through. It has like interesting levels of verticality, which is really sick. But also like I kind of wish there was a little bit more down here so that there's more splitting off with the dam, you know? So it's like this half of the map and then this half of the map. You don't really get that with the lakes, but there's some stuff to do. So like if you're doing like, oh, I want to go kill some leapers, there's some leapers down here. There's like stuff you can do. Harvest event is right down here, so that's kind of fun, adds a little variety to it. They moved the matriarch down here, which is, it's so terrifying to fight down here. But like, I like this map. This is a very solid map. Like I don't feel excited to go to Dam Battlegrounds, but I never hate going to Dam Battlegrounds, right? Right? Like I like it, but I don't, you know, it's not my favorite. You even got like these interesting apartments up the sides that are like split off, so it's like just running a bunch. I do feel like the top left feels like it kind of feels empty in a sense, just because it's like swamps and it's like there's a little scattering of stuff. And I think that adds to the Hydrodome feeling like a weird loot zone where it's just like, oh, right, right, there is something here in this zone. But yeah, this whole area right here is very interesting on just like the different tiers, because it also doesn't feel like a yellow zone, but it's like when you actually like loot the different spots of the verticality. So good. You know what's gonna be a fun tier list to do? Extracts. Oh, I'm like thinking about it now because like I kind of want to say some stuff about the extract, but I'm like, maybe I keep that quiet for future tier lists. Because hey, every Tuesday, baby, every Tuesday we are doing tier list Tuesday. Okay, baby. Ooh, so we got some things slotted up. That's all I'm saying. I got some yapping I could do about some extracts. But yeah, good map, very solid map. It's a great first map. I think there is a good enough variety of like, okay, you got this like swampy tree areas, you got multiple floors with the dam, you got this interesting part where the dam's like broken up. The sliding down part of the dam is really fun. / you can just fall to your death. There's a lot of like traps, which is funny with the tower is a very good loot zone. It teaches you like fighting for loot zones. I feel like it does a pretty good shot. Like there's like 2 right here if you want to get to this main area, this control tower one. I think it's pretty good. These little outskirts kind of feel whatever, so it kind of makes it feel like this is the one zone, because it's like, this is all like spread out. There's not a lot down here. There's not a lot, so it kind of feels weird, but it's kind of fine. It kind of helps for that new player experience, right? It's like, I don't know what I'm doing, so not having something where you're gonna get whooped on is kind of nice. Yeah, I like this map. It's really good, very solid. Okay, how do I free myself? I see, that's what I gotta do. All right, perfect. So with that being said, I think for now we just put it at A. It deserves that A slot. It definitely does. Next map you have unlocked is Buried City. Buried City. Oh, Buried City is one of my favorite maps, baby. It is one of my favorite maps. Let me pull up a map for it. And while I'm doing it right now, let me pull up all the maps so that we don't have to keep like stopping in between to yap about it. How about that? Yeah, you guys didn't think you were getting a 2-for-1 special, did you? I hate when I find the images that are like, it's the map, but it has like nothing on it. Like, I get it. It looks aesthetically pleasing, but it's like, no, sometimes I want to just have the map that's like, if I as a player pulled up the map, what do I see? Give me that map. And nobody likes to show that map. Did I use this map? Okay, we'll use this map for... Shouldn't be this hard, man. It shouldn't be this hard. Why am I struggling? What are we fighting for? What's even the point? Hold the line. Don't give up. Don't give up. We're almost there. We're almost there. Do I want to use that one? That one's so trash, though. AKA, I don't want to use that one. Okay, spoilers, a little hint to the future. I like Buried City. I really like Buried City. I could talk about some of it right now because it won't show up on the map anyway, so it's fine. I like different spots, like, you know what, we'll use this. This one's for, like, the button puzzle. So we'll use this for now. It's kind of funny. Yeah, so man, Buried City. This is one I fell in love with because of the aesthetic of the place. The style of it is so cool, man. Buried City is such a cool map. And it's because of the fact that it's buried, right? And so you have so many little areas where it's like, oh, I'm gonna go underneath into this one building, and then I go up into this other top part of stairs, like go up some stairs, go out a window, and then I'm still on ground. That's sick. They played pretty well with the verticality of the map. I think that's pretty fun. I like it. We have so many buildings going into, which is like feels unique to itself. So you have a weird mix of like closed off because it's like you're in so many little rooms, but at the same time you're traveling across so many roofs that feels kind of fun to like parkour, jump across. So like having the parkour feature with the map just being so buried. I don't know. I really like this map. It's so good, man. It's so good. I would say the one downside with the map compared to like something like Damn Battlegrounds is it doesn't feel like variety in the sense. Like with Damn Battlegrounds we saw where it's like, oh, you got this swampy area and then you got like a dam area that feels industrial, like man-made, and then you got this part down here like with the lakes that feels different, but it makes sense. Like it still flows with each other. This, it feels like one whole spot, right? It's all the same, right? It's all the same. It's all like buried buildings that are decrepit. That's got it. I will say the buildings are cool. We got hospital, which is really good. This section right here is kind of cracked. You got so many good buildings right here. You got like space travel, which is sick, with so many floors to travel through and do. You could jump into research right next to it, which is really good. You got parking lot pretty nearby. You could jump to that one or not, depending on the floors. And like, there's so many like verticality jumping to places that's so fun to do. You got hospitals, which is just a good loot map. You got down here with apartments, which feels kind of similar to space travel and research, and the fact that it's like, oh, you go up and then you go across. And you get a lot of that on these maps, on this map. Like just with a bunch of buildings jump across to each other feels really nice. Really nice. I would say you feel pretty safe. Pretty safe, but unsure because like there's so much cover because of buildings that like when you're traveling around, you don't feel like you're gonna get shot out of nowhere. But at the same time, you just can't see other people because like they're also covered by buildings. So like traveling is kind of interesting. I like Buried City. What can I say? Buried City is pretty good, pretty good. You got a lot of traveling through areas. Feels really safe. You have this like overpass area, this whole bridge that's collapsed right here, which is a crazy drop off for some reason right here. For some reason. I would say like one downside is like outskirts like this is just like feels like a hard cutoff of like there's nothing here. Like it's just meant for spawning in and then maybe going around looking for Raiders cache. Kind of the same with some of these buildings and rooftops. Like not every building is interactable, and some of them feels like a waste of time to go through because it's like there's not like a lot to loot into. What else? Yeah, I would say the only downside is what I said before, where it's like the variety feel of the map doesn't feel like it's there. Like it doesn't feel like you are just looking at the same map the whole time. If that makes sense. Like you're just looking at Buried City. You're just looking at sand and buildings. Sand and buildings. And that's it. No matter where you're at, you got that same feel to it. Which is, it's fine. It's just, I like having a variety in my map where I can feel the aesthetic kind of feel like naturally change. Like Damn Battlegrounds. Where it's like, okay, cool. Just in case I'm doing like a bunch of runs on the same map, I don't get tired out as quickly. because of that. And like, I feel like you were supposed to get that with maybe with the park or some other stuff, but you really don't. You really don't. Just because, well, mostly because you don't travel through the park. I'm gonna be honest, that spot is blocked off by Ark, and it's like, I'll skirt through it on the edges of it, which is kind of nice, but like, yeah, I don't know. I like Buried City, but it's more for vibes, aesthetics. But I feel like it's one that gets like quickly overdone. Like, I'm not gonna do a bunch of crazy Buried City runs unless I'm doing loot runs. I feel like it's the best loot run area for sure. Besides, obviously, one we're gonna talk about in the future, which is for a different reason. But for like just going grandiose apartments, just doing trinket runs, Buried City is just so good for that. It's so good. All right. Transition. Let me get out of Twitter. Let me get out of Twitter. Let me get out of Twitter. I forgot. I keep doing this wrong, man. My bad. I gotta do this. Boom. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna be putting Buried City into A tier. Gosh, I don't want to put it in the B tier, man. I want to put it in A, but at the same time, I think the more I think about how its downsides of like too much samey in the map, I do think it kind of hurts it a little bit. Like, I love the vibes of it though. I love the buriedness with the city, but it is just a buried city. Like, there's not like one section of the map that feels like, oh, this is like actually like a little Oasis life park. Like, I feel like the park might be that, but it's not. So I think it might bump it down to B, even though I love Buried City. I think out of respect, I have to put it down to B. All right, Spaceport. Spaceport, baby. Lock in Spaceport. What do we think about Spaceport? Ooh, baby, this is a big map. That is what people are thinking. This is a big map. Golly. All right, can I have everything jumbled up, as per usual. What am I listening to? Village Without Memories. I'm just kidding, it's too much. It's good. It's good, don't get me wrong. My camera froze? Sick. We're real gamers now? Let me fix it. Oh. Have I told you guys that I'm sick right now? So having all the stick issue is very fun. I'm enjoying it a lot. Okay, let me get my map. Where's my map? I had it ready. Hey, where's my map? Where's my super suit? Okay, let me find it. Remember when I said, hey, let me find all the maps so I don't have to keep doing this? I lied. AKA, I got bored and impatient. So I didn't keep doing that. I didn't stay the path. All right, I got one, so I got Spaceport. Let me get the last one, because all that's left is Stella Montes, right? For right now, until they add more. Until they add the volcano map, which they're definitely going to do. Okay. Got it, man. I got it. Space Port. What do we think? Too big? Is this map too big? What's that about? Also, let me... Oh, is that better? Is this map too big? I will say, I like a lot of the aesthetics of it. Like, having a launch pad spot for, like, a game that's so, like, oh, we're Astropunk. We're NASA Punk. Having an actual spot that is like, hey, this is actually, you know. God, why is it so extreme? A spot that's actually like, oh, a launch pad for space shuttle stuff and rocket, like that. It's very fitting in the vibes. Like, it fits the aesthetic of the game. I think that's really good. I like that it exists. It is a big map. My friend Houston does not like this map because it's so big. I see it as a pro and a con. You know, I like that it's so big because it does add to that almost like variety of like, I'm so far off that it's like, oh, I don't know where I'm going to be. I'm over here. I guess I'm interacting with this. I'm over here. I interact with this, I guess. You know, it kind of is fun that way. It's also nice to have like, just like compared to other maps, a really big feeling maps. I like it. I do say it has some downsides to it. If you're trying to go for a certain area, let's say you did a loot key room for container storage right here, and then you spawn all the way over here, kind of a pain in the butt to go across the map to get there. AKA, by the time you get there, it's already looted. Yeah, that's a downside. That's a very downside of the map, especially if you're doing like, oh, hey, the Queen event is like, where is it, down here? Oh, the Queen event's down here or something like that. Let's go down there. Oh, darn, I spawned all the way up here. Even when the Matrix in the middle, it kind of, it's still like you got to travel so far. I will say I like a lot of the different buildings, even though like a lot of these will feel the same. I'm like, oh, rock assembly, container storage. Like they're not that vastly fascinating different. But then you get some outliers like departure building is pretty cool. Arrival building, I haven't gone through and loot through a bunch, but a few times I have, I'm like, okay, I kind of like the vibes of this room. Like how its designs feels kind of cool, like interesting. It feels like a real life place, and that's like same with departure building, which makes sense because like these are like spots where people would go through, while these are all like just workplaces. Why would this be like really cool looking? Makes sense. Makes sense in my brain, and I'm kind of fine with that. I vibe with it. Fuel lines is traumatizing because of bunker. I've gotten betrayed down here too many times. And then obviously launch towers. The fact that you get to go to launch towers, you can go to the very top, is really cool. I think it's sick. I like the design of it. I get my butt kicked every single time I go for it, or if I'm trying to help out on a Matrix fight, still get killed, even if we have a team. I think this dual loot room is kind of interesting. I will say there's one problem with the loot rooms here, but it's not really a design of the map as a whole, but just these specific spots. These two, like these towers and also control tower, they have loot rooms or key rooms where you could key on one door on one side, and then there's another door on the other side you could key, and if you don't, someone else can accidentally waste their key there. That's bad. It's so bad. I hate that. But that's not really like against the map. Like that's just those specific rooms. They could easily change that. In general, I think this is pretty cool. I like the idea. I like that it exists. It fits the vibes of like an Astro shuttle rocket. Like having a spot where it's like, oh no, this is where we launch actual spaceships. That's sick. I like it. It's very big, and it's not exciting though. I'll say that much. I will say that much. So that means this is going to be going. Once I can switch over. So I'm going to be putting Spaceport, sadly, oh gosh. It's either going to be B or C, not going to lie. Like, it's fine. I don't hate it that much. But I guess, like, there's good enough downside for it to be C. I feel like I like it more than most people. But I think C is very fitting for this map. Some people might say F, because it's too big and boring. But I think it's C. There's even that, like, underpath area that connects through sections, which is kind of sick. I'm bumping it up to B. It deserves B. It's not that bad. I like it. I like it more than others. We'll put that on C. Alright, let's talk about Blue Gate. The map I didn't get ready, by the way. Remember when I was like, oh, let me get ready for some... I wasn't ready for this. Alright, let me get it ready. Blue Gate is such a good map. So, spoilers. Such a good map. I'm hoping us talking about these conditions or these maps will help us for also talking about the conditions. I'm hoping, because it'll give us an idea, fresh idea of what our thoughts on the maps are, so that when we talk about the conditions and how they play with the maps, it makes sense better. Right, guys? I'm not wasting time, right? All right, I got it. Got it. Got it. All right. Blue Gate. This is some people's favorite maps. I would say that. It ranges up there of people's favorite maps. I will say, if someone were to ask me, hey, Noah, what's your favorite map in Ark Rares? I would say either Buried City or Blue Gate. I truly think that. I think Blue Gate is so good. I feel like as a big map, because it kind of feels like a big map like Spaceport, I think it just feels way better. Way better. You got interesting spots like, okay, it's a nice, beautiful tree, green, mountainous area that feels really good. It gives some natural verticality in certain spots, which is really sick. I like that a lot. There's two different, there's three actually, but two I usually use. There's a couple puzzles in the map, which are always sick. Like, I didn't really talk about in Buried City how it has the guitar puzzle, which I haven't done, so I won't talk about it. But, like, Raiders Refuge as, like, a button puzzle is so sick. It's so satisfying. I love doing it. Age of War's kind of similar, but not as good. I like these different kind of puzzles in the map where it's like, oh, if I'm here, I could do this little puzzle and get some loot, even though I didn't bring in a key. That's sick. There's obviously one for down underneath. I didn't even bring up a underneath map. But the fact that this has like a full-on underneath section for right here adds a whole layer of like different vibe to the map, which is so sick. I love this map. It is very much just like green forestry going across, and some spots are pretty good. In some regards, like all this here, kind of whatever. So it's like, this is like dead whatever. But I will say, like, stuff like Broken Earth and whatnot, these little trenches made from past battles with Ark is kind of sick when you look at it and transverse it or take cover. It's kind of cool. Olive Grove is such a good spot for Scrappy. There are sections of the map that feels like you're just wandering around, kind of like Spaceport, and there's like a whole lot of nothing you're doing because you're just getting from like, oh, I'm just getting from Raiders Refuge to checkpoint, and so I'm just running across and there's nothing technically. You got like, yeah, these little pockets that feel kind of empty, but I think it's good for a big map. I think it's really good. I like it a lot. There's still small little things you can interact with for loot stuff that like are scattered out, and I know it's the same with Spaceport, but like you also feel like you're less likely to get like just sniped from across a map like you might in Spaceport. Not that you do, but like it feels more that way in Spaceport. While in this, there's so much like verticality with mountains and hills and whatnot that you have enough cover that you feel pretty safe. / you can look at people. And then there's like little pockets where you can go underneath to kind of get into the underneath section. I think where the Ark is placed, I'm like, ooh, over here, or here. It's kind of interesting, and I like it a lot. This village section is really nice to go through. Feels lived in a good amount of way. Besides Pilgrim Creek feeling like so far away from everything else a lot of times, I like it as a little loot area. I like this map a lot. And part of it is the aesthetics, right? The green tree mountainous vibes is really nice. This is a little parking lot area while there's not like technically a lot to loot. So when I see like it's a red zone, it feels like a lie. It's still nice to go through just aesthetically. Maneuvering against Ark or people. If you're looking for rusty gear, there's a bunch of cars to try to loot. Yeah, I like this. I like this map a lot. I don't think it's the best map, but I like this map a lot. I think it does a lot of good for me personally. And it's big. I do like a big map. I like a big map. I'm a guy who's like, ooh, big map, good. We like big map. We like big map. Big map means potentially variety. Golly, do I just put this in B though? Because it feels very similar to how I feel about Buried City in a lot of ways. Like, I don't know. It's hard for me to say A, but I do like it a lot. I think it does a lot of good things right. let's talk about the last one. And the most recent map we got, even though it's been a bit, even though it's been a while, our most recent map we just got, which is Stella Montis, baby. We got Stella Montis. Look at this map. What a maze! I will say I like this map because it does its job right. I think it does its job really well as making a closed off, claustrophobic, all indoors maze that encourage PvP. I think it's a great job for that. I think it's very fun. There's variety in the map. A lot of rooms feel very different to each other. Loading bay, it's very different than all the other rooms. There's like upper and lower levels. Archives feels very separate than some of the other rooms. And so you get a lot of different vibes while all still being stuck inside. I would say technically you get it with loading bay, but if there was a spot you could go outside, I would love this map so much more. Even if it's like very small, which technically that's what loading bay is, but it feels like you're still inside because it's just like, you know, there could be a roof above and it's like, doesn't matter. I like this map a lot. I think it does its job well as encouraging PvP, being all indoors. I think it's a lot of variety. The downside is this map is so confusing to maneuver. I've played this map so many times. I've gotten good and I've learned a lot of paths, but even still, I get confused. And where it hurts the most is extracting. There's a few extracts I'm like, oh, I know how to path to, yada yada, I'm okay. But there are moments still that I will have where I'm like, wait, what is the exact pathing? And I'll be honest, the map does not help. This is one of those where I never pull up the map, I feel like I never pull up the map because it is not helpful enough. It's just confusing, and I don't know how to path through it to actually make it make sense. And there's 2 layers to it. And it's just, I can't, it forces me to use my game knowledge and just my game knowledge, which is fine, I like that. But I can't use the map, man. I can't use the map, which makes it worse when I have to pull up the map and be like, oh, where's the extract that's still available? And it's some far off one, and I'm like, I can't visualize. I have to try to, in my brain, visualize, okay, what does that area look like so that I can actually map out in my own brain the pathing to get there. That's bad. That's bad because of the map, right? Because it's like, even all the other maps, I can still visualize my own pathing. So it's not like it's, oh, it's actually big brain because it's forcing the player to use their brain. It's like, no, I used my brain before too. But like, that's what I think causes a lot of my pain points with like trying to find extract and it's far off and like, oh, it's here. But I'm like, okay, wait, actually, what did that spot look like? Okay, that's lobby. Oh, okay, that's lobby underneath. Okay, cool. I know I can path over here to get down there. I can't really do that well on here. Like, I'm like, Western Tunnel, I don't know what that is. I think I know what that is, but I don't think I know what that is. Like this, it's just because of a lot of the verticality. I think that's a big part of it. Because it's like, this feels on the same level as all this. They can't show too much of the verticality while it's like, that is not how it works. Even though everything's indoors, there's like height to loading bay, a lot of weird stuff that's very interesting and fun to interact with. Very fun to interact with. The maneuvering part for like extracting, or if you're new and you're trying to get to a certain spot for like a key, like some of the key spots are so confusing early on. Like I remember like the key that you would use in lobby, it's like a checkpoint security or something like that, and it's like there's not like a spot on the map that says that, so it's hard to actually figure that out. That's kind of annoying, but like overall, this map's great. And it has enough variety from zone to zone that feels really good. One downside I think we'll talk about in the future, I'll talk about it now, you know what, is I hate the dark mode in this map. And I know they just did the buff to make the darker zones even darker on this map, specifically so that they can encourage using flashlights, which I get. You know, how else are you going to encourage flashlights? I don't know. I don't have a great answer. That's probably what I would do too. But I don't think it's going to encourage flashlight use. My friend and I were talking about that. We're like, all it does is it hurts the people who play fair. For the people who use like gamma settings and switches their settings so they can see daylight and night, Doesn't hurt them, but it hurts all like us players who play fair. But I don't have an answer for them. That's like a dev problem, not me. In general, I like this map a lot. There's a lot of fun areas to loot. It's a fun PvP zone. It feels so fun to run around. The arc of having to deal with shredders, like because it's all indoors, you don't run into Rocketeers. There's not Bombardiers. I kind of wish Bombardiers could possibly spawn in Loading Bay. It's only like a guaranteed bastion. So that kind of hurts the variety because you're so limited on your arc. You don't, like, sure, there's Wasps and Hornets, but not as often. They can be a pain when they are here, but like they're not as frequent. So I don't know. I think the variety side on the arc kind of is stale. I wish in Loading Bay a Rocketeer could just spawn. A Bombardier could just spawn. I don't care how gross or not gross it is. It's kind of fun. Why not? I like having that variety of like what arc is going to be on the map in certain spots, in different spawns. When it's just guaranteed, it's like, sure, I get to learn it and prep for that, but it's like, it's kind of lame. Shredders is so cool. I kind of wish Shredders weren't just on Stella Montes. We're talking about like Blue Gate, the whole underground section, where there's a key room, like from checkpoint up, that kind of underground area. I think if Shredders are in there, that'd be sick. It does make Stella Montes unique because the Shredders, they buff them. I like them. I like them as an enemy. I think they're really strong and fun. But I wish there was more variety of it, which kind of hurts it. That being said, though, I think I said everything I really care to say about Stella Montes, to be honest. I don't think... I'm honestly more surprised. I think it's definitely an A tier. I think it's definitely A tier. Now, let's talk about what is going to be in the S tier. Also, the more I think about this, I honestly, low-key, because of my answers, I do think Blue Gate goes down to B, based on how I talked about it. And I think comparing from Damn Battlegrounds and Stella Montes for S tier, oh gosh, I think it has to be Stella Montes, man. I think the map design is so good on it. I think it's so good. I hate using the actual map part of it, but everything else, the verticality you play with it, just the different zones feeling pretty different from each other is really good, while all being all indoors. That too. Like, sure, I understand it's gonna be indoors, but like it still feels like zone from zone feels really good, which helps because I need to have that mental image so I can navigate it, because I can't use the actual map, which you would think would hurt it, and it should, but I'm still putting an S tier for some reason. All right, so there's part one of this tier list. I'm surprised. I'm shocked. I'm shocked even. Honestly, I thought it was gonna be like Buried City or Blue Gate. I thought one of these two would be S tier in my eyes, but like low key, when talking about Damn Battleground, and this isn't talking about like what I like, this is just talking about what I think is good about it. Like, sure, what I like also is part of that, obviously, but I think I also try to bring some objectivity with my own opinions. And so this isn't just like, oh, what do I like to play? Because if it was what I like to play, I think it's these two. I think it's these two. I'm like hardly going out of my way to pick Spaceport, so that's why it's so down. Stella Montes is such a fun variety, though. It's so good. For what it does right, it does pretty good. Obviously, there's big flaws with like, oh, spawns, because spawn camping was a thing. That's annoying. Is that really the map's problem, or is that just like how they made it spawns? Sure, if you want to make it, add some negatives to Stella Montes, I'm not going to judge you for that, obviously. But when I think about the design of Stella Montes, I like it a lot. I think it's a well-designed map. I like it a lot. But there's an argument to make damn above it. Okay, cool. We did that. Let me get up. Let me refresh my coffee. And then we'll get into the real tier list of going through the conditions. Right? Like I said I would. All right, I'll be right back. And I don't have to pull up any maps this time, because I have it just all right there. Okay? Sounds good? Sounds good. I'll be right back. All right, I took out my Snuggie. It was getting too hot. That moment when you grab a random body armor, and of all the ones I got orange mango. Is that a good thing? Do you think that vibes well with coffee? Because that's what I went to do, was heat up my coffee, and I was like, body armors. I should probably drink some because I'm sick and I need stuff in my body. Yes, that'll be great for you, right? I guess it kind of gives like a morning orange juice, coffee morning feel, right? Even though it's afternoon. All right. This will also give a visual cue. Oh yeah, let me take it off my Swisher. It gives a visual cue that we're off to the next section, baby. We are finally going to be doing some tier lists on conditions, major conditions, minor conditions, all the conditions of maps for Arc Raiders. Should be good. Should be good. Do I switch it up to Pokemon music? Why not? All right. Let's switch it up. All right. Let's just get over there into it. We're gonna be doing all of these. Let's see. What do we start off with? I will say this is in honor of Cold Snap, so we're gonna leave Cold Snap for last. Okay? Okay. Not saying the best for last, but we're gonna save it for last. So let's start off with Lush Blooms. Lush Blooms as a condition. I am very conflicted about this condition because this condition, I feel like all this condition does is add the little baskets of fruit. I feel like that's all it does, which to me upsets me because it's like all that Lush Blooms is to me is like it's like almost like a loot run. It's just a trinket run almost. It's like, hey, go around, find these baskets and get more money. That is it. That's all it tells my brain. It doesn't say like, hey, this is a cool fun thing to interact with on the map. It's like, I don't know if it actually affects like plants that you can harvest because you would think it would, but I don't think it does. Am I crazy about that? Am I crazy? Do I need to do some research? Let me do some research. Let me confirm this, because, like, I don't think it does. I think it just adds the basket. Okay. Let's see. Oh, gosh. Okay, take this with the... Let's go to Arc Raiders Wiki. Lush Blooms. Let's say what they say. Lush Blooms is a map modifier that increases the amount of nature loot, and wicker baskets that can be found on the map. I feel like it's just a wicker basket, I'll be honest. Let's see, anything else? Let's see what other people say about it. A temporary map-wide event that drastically increases the availability of natural resources like lemons, apricots, olives, and crafting plants. Does that mean from the trees? Here's the thing. I think what it would do, in my brain, it makes it sound like it would actually make stuff like harvesting plants. So like, oh, I can find more mushrooms. I can find more stuff. And it might, but I feel like it doesn't. I could be wrong. I will just say that right here. I feel like I'm wrong. But from what my experience, every single time, is it just feels like the main thing is that you just go wicker basket farming. Which is good for money if you're trying to get that 5 million. But I'm putting in a C tier. I almost might put this in F tier. Not gonna lie. It doesn't do enough. I know it's a minor condition. Let's look at, what do we have here? From majors to minors. So minor. I think this is minor, and then we get into the majors. Yeah, okay. So we're all doing, all these are minors until we get to Nightrid. Then it becomes a major conditions. Okay, so that's a minor condition. You know, there's some reason if it's a minor condition compared to major condition, should you expect it to change the game too much? I guess not really. I guess we'll talk about how impactful the other ones are, though, in the future. But I think if F tier is for this needs to change, obviously it has a bright side to where it's like it doesn't impact, like it doesn't ruin my like runs. It's kind of neutral in the sense that like I could actually play on Lush Blooms and I wouldn't notice. Is that a good thing though? Like it doesn't warp my run, so that's good. But it doesn't really impact my run. Like the only good side is that, oh, I could possibly do some loot runs. Obviously, if you're needing fruit for Scrappy, this could help you. But I do kind of wish there was like more impact. It's a minor condition, I get it. It's not a major condition, but still, I wish it did more to my run. Example, probes. You might think on paper, who cares about probes? Probes are useless. What's the point with doing probes? They're kind of a waste of time. I think they need to buff probes. I will just say this right now. Early days, I did probes. Nowadays, it feels like it's so hard to do probes. It's like, what's the point for it? Especially since it takes a long time to breach a probe, by the way. It makes so much noise, gets so much arc on you. Is it even worth it besides like, oh, maybe I do it for a probe run for my trials, even though it's just better to go to electric magnetic sword? We'll get to it. We're not even talking about trials. We'll probably talk about trials, but we're going to, but not right now. Probes, I think, are interesting. I like it as a condition because it does impact the game. Because at the very least, it is actually impacting me by just messing with my ears because I have to deal with these probes just being out and about going, bah, bah. I just got that going on. And then maybe I'm like, you know what? Let's go take it out, because either one, I'm getting tired of the noise and I'm trying to like stealth in this section, and it's just like I'm trying to hear from people and it's like I can't hear nothing. Or it did tempt me into getting its loot. And then it's like, I'm doing this whole thing, and then there's Ark, and then this changes it. I like it. I like it. It even adds technically cover to the map, because it's like, oh, you can kind of take cover mid-combat. I have, at least, if I'm fighting an Ark, and like there's a pro nearby, I could, if I'm out and about. That's kind of something. It just makes cool noise. I get to see them fly in and fly out. That's kind of sick. A little goop brain, little goopy brain. All I need, Unga Bunga, is like, oh, hey, visuals, this is kind of sick. So I don't hate this. If pros actually gave more and did a little bit more, then obviously I think I'd put an A. But I think it might be B. I think it's low key. It's solid. I have no problems with probes. They do still kind of feel like a nothing burger of like, I can do my run on it and it doesn't really technically impact it. But compared to like most of these, I think this one impacts it the most as a minor condition, because it's just like, I'm going to hear it. I'm going to have them flying in and out, and they're like, maybe I go loot some, because who knows? Or maybe I might hear someone else do. We're moving up to A tier. We're moving up to A tier. It's either going to be A tier or B tier. We'll have to see in the future. But like, I think it's not too bad. I think it's way better, because like other people could be breaching it more likely, which means you can jump on them or just talk to them. Oh, it's kind of interesting. I like that. Makes Ark spawn if people are dealing with it. I don't know. There's some interesting stuff. All right, let's do husks. First wave husks. I like this more than Lush Blooms. But that's mostly because, like, I hear Lush Blooms, all I think of, like, oh, okay, I guess we go. And then if I'm going to Lush Blooms, I might as well actually go and try to hunt down these wicker baskets and get money back. And it's kind of lame. Husks, I don't feel like you ever go for. They're not, like, an inconvenience, though. Also, they're kind of whatever. But at the same time, as a new player, like, it's not bad loot. There's better loot to be had, but like the fact that like you could get like a Rocketeer driver for just looting is like, you know, that's kind of cool. That like, do you need more incentive than that? I don't think you really do. I would say it's C. It's either C or B. It's just, it doesn't do enough to really impact me to make me like, oh, I'm good. Oh, it's A tier. Like, it's whatever. But it's not F. Like, I don't think it needs to be changed at all. Like, it's fine. I think it's fine in C. C or B. I just hate to put it in B when it's just like, it's kind of whatever. But it's not bad. It's really not. Put it on B. It's not bad. It's fine. It's fine. Nah, put it on C. Because I'm never going on my way to go to first wave husk unless I'm doing a trial. Or not. It's fine. It's fine. All right. This is Lush Blooms 2.0. Lush Blooms 2.0. Raiders Cache. Raiders Cache. This is the most feels like, oh, we're going, oh, is it Raiders Cache? Let's go and do the Raiders Cache. Let's just go around the map looking for the caches and maybe get the goop from it. It's not quite like just straight up money. At least you get value of like, oh, you get bandages. You could get blueprints. So it's a little, just on paper, more fascinating than Lush Blooms. I've also had moments a few times where we've gone to Buried City. Not Buried City. We got to, it's usually Buried City where we do Raiders Cache. But when we do Raiders Cache, and we're not going for the Raiders Cache, and then you just might hear the ticking, and it's like, oh, cool, hey, Raiders Cache, sick. So that's kind of nice. I think this is a way better Lush Blooms situation. It is kind of lame because I kind of warps my run a little bit in the sense of like, if I'm going to Raiders Cache, I probably should go look for the caches. I don't have to. And if I do just stumble upon it, the stuff I get from it is not just like, oh, this is just all fruit stuff that's like money, I guess. Stuff I'm just going to sell. So on paper, I like this way better. I don't know if I like it as A though, because it's just like, the coolest part of it, obviously, is you go for that gamble chance, that RNG, to see if you get a blueprint. But that is it. Besides that, like, it doesn't even put you at that much of a disadvantage as, like, compared to Arc probes, where it's like, oh, if I'm going for the probes, oh no, I'm breaching. Am I going to get shot? Or if other people are doing it, I might shoot them. You don't really have that much interactivity. Like, it doesn't impact you really to do these, I would say, in comparison. I think I'm putting it at B. Like, it's fine. It's good. It's good. It's good. I'm not in love with them. Even though compared to most of these, like, minor conditions, like, this is the one I would probably go to the most just because I see the most value from it. I don't know. I don't like it as much as like probes. Probes is better because it does impact in that subtle way that I don't think about, but it's good. It's good. In the fact of, like, breaching or people breaching or maybe not. This is just like, there's taking. The fact that I don't have to do it and I might stumble upon it and it actually has something good in it, most likely at least heals compared to, like, Lush Blues, is nice. So I think it's B. You could argue B and A, but I'm going to put it at B. I like it. All right, Loot Tower. I got to drink my coffee. Okay, this is the first one of the conditions that are we're in the boss saga now. Because we got loot. We got the Loot Tower. We got Harvester event. We got Matriarch. And we even have technically, like, Blue Gate. But not really. We'll get to it. So these are very similar in that they're doing, like, a raid. Like, you go here and you do this objective. Compared to the other conditions, right? These other conditions are like, oh, this is just stuff scattered on the map. These are, like, clear objectives. I will say, of the three, I've only done the loot a couple times with not great success. Now, I've shared when we talked about Spaceport before with Launchpad that, like, I like the area. But I usually die. I usually don't go in there and go crazy and have fun. I usually get, like, bodied. So I'm not, like, crazy about it because of that. But, and I feel like this is like this, but, like, on times 10. Because everybody goes through this section, they're fighting, and they're trying to get the loot and all that. But it's probably good. It probably deserves to be an A, because it has a big interactive. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but it's an event that, like, if you're going here, you're probably going for the tower itself, but you don't have to. You could just go run around and loot up. I think it's good. Then again, I've only played on it a couple times with, like, bad success, so I can't say if it's worth it. If it's worth the risk of going and doing it and yada yada. I think it's an A. I'm going to say it's an honorable A. Honorable A. But I really want to throw it lower because I just haven't done it and my success with it. I'm not like, when I see it, I'm not like, ooh, let's go to Loot Tower. Which kind of makes it go into C. So I'm going to put it at C. I'm going to put it at C, but just know, it probably deserves to be an A. It probably deserves to be an A. Also, what's up, Houston? It probably deserves to be an A. My bad, Houston, I was locked in. I was locked into my yapping. You haven't been here long, have you? So yeah, Houston spoilers. We did maps first, and now we're doing our conditions. So yeah, I'm doing loot room at. We're gonna put it at C. We're gonna put it at C because it's probably deserves an A, but we'll put it at C. All right, first, Harvester and Queen, because again, they're still similar in the fact that they're like bosses. That like event, you're going here for this boss thing. Again, similar with Loot Room, you don't have to. You could just go in and just loot everything else, treat it like a normal run, and just avoid this thing, which is kind of fun to do every so often, which is fun. Adds a little points to it because it makes you feel a little bit safer because you know people might go for this, so there's less people at the loot spots you're going for. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Houston, you already know where I'm putting it. I mean, you just mentioned it. I think Queen obviously goes to A. It's such a fun event and boss to do. you have not only the puzzle of the harvester thing in general, the actual spot going in is really fun to do. Of like, oh, you gotta breach the door. There's 2 like different like attacks that you have to worry about, like MOBA style of like, oh, if it's blue, it's gonna mess up your shield. If it's yellow, it's gonna be burning. And like, okay, there's fun interactivities with the harvester itself. And like the fact that you can go inside through the little tube spots, which there's 3 sections, so multiple spots is nice. You can go on top of it, which is fun to add a little verticality in this fight. The actual queen itself is such a fun one to fight. It has, what, probably 3 attacks, you would say. It has its trample just by walking around. It has its main beam where it blasts, and then it has its like 3 shots with like pop, 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 pop. I guess it does have a little EMP emitter. It does too. The fact you can jump on the queen's massive, it's big. You're encouraged to do the harvester event so that you can have it not be a danger zone, so you have a safe cover spot from the queen if you want to fight the queen. You don't even have to fight the queen. You could just like strip its legs. You could do this solo. You could do this with a group. You could do it with the lobby. PvP can happen. I like the variety that the harvester event does. I think it's good. If there's one thing I would say though, one negative to it, but this doesn't really affect it, is it's more its interaction with the maps. I would say with how it changes how you play the maps, which I haven't really talked about that with the other ones. I hate that it's the same spot. Low key, I kind of wish it could either, 1, just be random, have random spots, or 2, have a couple spots, like maybe 2 different spawns or 3 different spawn locations. And so it's like, with the harvester one, it's not even that bad, because it's like you just pull up the map and it shows where the harvester is. So it's like, it's not bad for the player if it has multiple spawns, because then it's just like, oh, let me look at the map, which spawn did it do? Oh, it did this one? Okay, cool, let's go here. That adds an extra level of variety that I just like. Because, like, you know, you get a bunch of videos of, like, this is the best way to fight the queen. And it's like, oh, I'm going to be on damn battlegrounds. I'm going to go in this one little room, and I have this method. It's like, that's cool. But I don't want this game to come into, here is the best way to do this, and you just do that. So adding even, like, a small little thing where the locations of where the harvester is, where it spawns in, like, potential multiple spots, I think would be so good. I think it adds a variety to this game, which I think it's good. But besides that, I think this is obviously A tier. It's so good. It's such a good event. You know, it's such a good one. Another negative, though, I guess I'll talk about it. I'll talk about the negative after I talk about the matriarch. Because, like, they have... You know, I'll just say it now. I should have talked about it with all 3 of these. With the loot tower, harvester, and matriarch. I'm going to talk about now. Why are these minor conditions? Why? I don't understand. Someone tell me. Why? Why are these minor conditions? Why aren't these major conditions? Unless you want to say, hey, major conditions are just for... They're just for stuff that actually impacts the map, like the weather or something like that. And why the heck is Bunker and Blue Gate? I get why these are here. I get why these are here. Then why is this not a major condition? Unless this is a major condition. I don't think it is. I think it's a minor condition. You know why I say that? Because when you do the loot tower does change how the launch pad is. Like, the launch pad is not the same as it is normally. It's like covered up. It's like you have to unlock it. It's different. That seems like a major condition because you're changing the map, which is, I think, what they're saying as major conditions. Because, like, we'll see with Blue Gate, the Lock Gate, and the Bunker, they physically changed the map, adding new spots to go to, or etc. Then why aren't... I feel like these impact... I feel like major condition... It just depends on what is their definition of major condition. Because I think these bosses, probably even the Loot Gate, deserve to be major conditions. Hot take. I know, obviously, we talk about trials and how, like, oh, trials would mess things up or whatever. I think even as a trial situation, I think these deserve to be on it. I think these deserve to be major conditions for 2 Times Boys. Or, we'll talk about it when we get to these. Maybe some of these major conditions should be major conditions. Alright, that being said, Harvester is at A. We're going to talk about Matriarch. The second big boss fight in the game, probably my favorite boss fight they added because it's just a boss fight with multiple other bosses that it spawns in, which is really fun. Adds a lot of variety to the boss fight, which, hey, we like variety here. We love variety here. And Matriarch Fight gives a bunch of variety to the fight itself, with it having its own EMP, to where it's like, okay, you have down phases, down times, where it's like, okay, no, this is a clear time to stop fighting it and maybe move around and not get killed, etc. I feel like Buried City is underrated. Dude, you'll have to check the archive of this stream. Me talking about Buried City. Let's just say I'm surprised I put Buried City this low. That's all I'll say. I won't say much more, because I agree. But yet I still put it at B. So that's all I'll say. I think the Matriarch Fight is a tier. Now I will say it's a little bit weird to fight on stuff like the new spot they put it at the dam. Kind of is a weird fight to fight it, but I love this fight so much. Now I will say the difference is compared to the Queen at least has like a harvester puzzle where you get blueprints, legendary guns, 2 legendary guns. And I know you used to get a legendary gun from Matriarch. They got rid of that and put it into Stellamontes, which I think is a good change. Because there's a difference between you have to do a puzzle at that harvester to actually get the reward, and then the Matriarch is just a whole separate thing of a boss that you can interact with or don't. Well, if you want the legendary gun from Matriarch, you have to kill it. That's why the Queen's so good. Is because it just synergizes so well where it's like you don't have to fight the Queen. You could just do the puzzle and get the gun blueprint, but at the same time, if you want to make the gun, you got to kill the Queen or shit delay. So it's like you're encouraged to interact with both of them, but you don't have to. And like having that option is really nice compared to like Matriarch, where it's like you have to kill it to get the cores to make the Felion, but then you had to kill the Queen or kill the Matriarch and then loot the core to possibly get the blueprint, which is like a mess. That's why they moved it to Stellamontes. And it's like pretty easy to find, which is fine. That's a whole different conversation about blueprints. Like, should blueprints be easy to find? Should they not be hard to find? I think low-key, I think it's fine that they're easy to find because it's like, I don't know. I don't want to be locked out of weapons because I couldn't find the blueprint. Like, I like that they're the random and they're still not like the hardest thing to find. Like, I think that's okay. Because you still got to get the parts, like for legendary guns. You still got to get the bosses. You still got to beat the bosses to get the parts to make the gun. So it's like there's still that rare side of like it's not completely easy to make the Felion, even though you easily get the blueprints from some mods. Whole different conversation. But it does kind of mess with the reward system of Matriarch compared to the Queen. The Queen just synergizes so well and smoothly that it's really good. Matriarch, they had to change it. So it kind of conflicts with the game design part of reward system for me. But at the same time, the difference reward system that the Matriarch has compared to the Queen. Because the Queen fight, there's always like a Matriarch, there's always like a Rocketeer falling around, right? That also spawns there. So it's like technically 2 enemies, but you can fight it a lot of times and not aggro the Rocketeer, so it really just feels like 1. With the Matriarch, because it spawns so many other things, there's a lot of like Bastions or Bombardiers or Leapers even, and like these are the spawns add to the loot pool that you would consider as the reward for fighting the Matriarch. So I think that helped compensate it a little bit. I do wish it had this interactivity of like the Harvester, but when I compare to like actually fighting the boss, I love doing the Matriarch. It's so fun. It's so fun. It's so good. So good. I agree. A at least. At least. All right. We are done with the minor conditions. Time for the major conditions. It is good, but also the loot is very mid. For the Matriarch, yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's hard though because it's like they're keeping the loot you get from the enemies consistent, right? So you're never gonna find, oh, I'm gonna find bandages. I'm gonna find this other kind of material on Ark. It's like they're keeping it very consistent where it's like, no, you get the parts from the Ark, right? And so that's where it's hard to say how do they make it good when it's like, no, it still has to be consistent with the fact that like, oh no, you're just ripping off pieces from this Ark. You're just going to be getting Ark stuff. So I think it's fine just because it's like, oh, you still get like Bombardier cells or Bastion cells and obviously the reactor cores, and you know, I think that's fine. they're basically going, so like, let's hide everything until the end. What do you mean by that, Lily Doggy? What do you mean by that? I'm confused. Enlighten me, sir. Because I might agree with you. I might agree with you. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't want to assume. Talk about like another raid. Okay. My bad. How dare you? How dare you? All right. Let's get into major conditions. Again, what's the difference between minor conditions and major conditions? I think the main thing, the reason why they separate these two, is I think major conditions is it's changing the map. I think. I'm pretty confident. I think. I mean, we'll talk about it when we get to these two. These sheeps. These black sheeps. But they changed the map, like, completely. Compared to, like, instead of, like, oh, more things spawn in. No. It is night mode now. It is dark. It is scary. Ark is more vigilant at night. If you didn't know that, her sources told me so. And higher loot value. Highly loot value A tier. Night raids are so good and how tense they are. Now, I will say, there is one major downside with night raids specifically that make me want to, like, drop it down a point. It kind of, like, it technically deserves to be an F tier, you might say. Again, when we comparing what the tiers are, A tier is, like, really good. It's really good. The best. But there's only one best, so that's why there's S tier. And then B is like, okay, it's really good. I'm like, it's not 50%. Oh, camera died. Camera died. Sorry, I was just yapping too hard. Camera couldn't understand. Couldn't keep up. Okay. What's the point I'm making? Oh yeah, the tier list. The different tiers. B is not 50%, it's like 60%. So it's like I'm more often than not going to be playing this. And the C tier is like 40%. So I'm less likely to play this. But still, it's fine. But I'm not really going to be doing this event. And then F tier is like, they need to change this. They need to change this. The thing I'm saying they probably need to change with night raids is the gamma setting problems. The fact that people can do a gamma setting that makes nighttime look like daytime is bad. That's just a problem they've had in the game since its beginning. There's not really a good way to change that without limiting the accessibility of your settings in game to allow you to just play the games on trash PCs. I don't know what you do. I think I'd rather be in a world where people can mess with gamma settings and kill me, because for me it looks like night, for them it looks like day. But little Timmy, who has a like trash PC, can still play the game. I like that outcome way more than the opposite of like little Timmy can't play the game, right? So I think still in general, night raids is still intense. Oh, it's so scary. You have to be really scared about like Ark, because Ark can just like mess you up because they're more vigilant at night. There's like higher tier enemies, so you're more likely to face the higher tier enemies, supposedly. It does some weird things on Stellamontes. I think Stellamontes with night raids is a little interesting. Just like, this is a topic in itself. Why is it that Stellamontes sometimes just regularly, not even with night raids, just has like a night raid? Like, that's cool. I like it when it's just like all dark, or there's that red kind of like filter almost on. Super sick. Adds variety to the match. But you would think that'd be the night raid of it, but it's not. I don't know. It's weird. So it's like you get the downsides of the night raid part for Stellamontes, but it's not actually a night raid. So you don't actually get the buffs. You don't get like the higher loot value. I don't know. That's not really a downside to the night raid. That's more a downside to Stellamontes, even though I put Stellamontes S tier. Don't worry about it. Maybe I should put Dan back up there instead of Stellamontes. But night raid is really good. It's the classic. It's the first major condition we had. It's so good. It's great. It's perfect. What would you change about it? It's darker. It's scarier. More intense. Higher loot for that tensity. It's so good. I like it. I might sound like a robot, a rookie, but put spaceport at B. Spaceport at B. Again, go back to the beginning part, because the beginning part was like we first did maps and then we're doing conditions. I wanted to put it at B, but because of like the reasonings of the tiers, I think it has to be a C. So it's like while there's some of the opinionated start, I'm like, I kind of want to put it at B, and I say I'm higher than others, like Houston Dot in the chat would probably put it in F. I like it. I'd put it at B, but I think C fits more in line. I think it's more fair. All right, so that's Night Raid. Our second major condition is electromagnetic storms. This one is interesting. Now, it tries to do a lot of the stuff that Night Raid's doing, but almost worse. Like, it's a weird in-between to where it's like, it's kind of darker because it's gloomy. There's like lightning strikes, which is fun. It interacts with the player more, because it's like, oh no, the map's now biting back. It's trying to fight me back. It's trying to light me up. And now there's an update to where it's like you can actually get loot potential for a bit, which is kind of sick. And they actually changed the text so that when you do it, it actually does say, hey, you get higher loot value, which was like huge confusion. So I can't really hold that against electromagnetic storms, because that was just more of like a weird design thing, not like the actual condition itself changed. It makes it harder to sneak around, / you can sneak around more, because it's like you can't hear nothing because it's so crazy, just like lightning storms, effects happening on. Sometimes it can impact the enemies with the arc. It's not that often, but sometimes it can just mess up arc and make them not fight. Or I've had it one time actually save me, because it's like it hit a leaper and it stunned the leaper and it gave me enough time to run away from the leaper. So I don't know, the interactivity of this is so good, but at the same time, I don't know what it is. Maybe it was the weird misconception, people didn't know if it was higher loot value, but then it was, and then it is. But like, people, I feel like almost more than, or probably just as much, are bloodthirsty. People are bloodthirsty on electromagnetic storm. They just go for that PvP. And I guess of the times to go PvP, probably electromagnetic storm is a good time to do it, because it impacts stealth gameplay, and the fact that, like, sure, they can't hear you, so you could creep up on people more, but you're disadvantaged to also camp. You can't camp extracts or stuff like that, because guess what? If you stand still too long, lightning strike. So there's some interesting stuff. I like how it interacts with the player a lot, but I don't love it too much. I really don't love electromagnetic storms too much, and I don't know why. I don't know why. For me, it would make more sense that I would like it, because like I do have troubles with like night raids. I just sometimes just can't see. So sometimes I just don't do night raids because I just can't see. So it's just not fun as a player. And electromagnetic storms kind of solves that problem while still getting high loot value. So you feel like I should like this. But I think it's because of the bloodthirstiness. There's so much PvP whenever I do electromagnetic storms. It's just, it makes me not like it as much for some reason. Don't know. Maybe I'm bad at the game. I don't know. But I'm putting it at B. I don't like it as much as night raids. It probably should be just as good, because there's not really, like, what downsides are there really? Oh no, you can't camp. I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with that. Like, I don't know. The downsides aren't really that bad, so I shouldn't hate them, but for some reason it's just a B. I'm putting it there. I can't put the words. Don't know. It's just better night raid. Exactly. It should just be better night raid. And I should put it higher than night raid. But the downside of the night raid adds to night raid with more. It adds that intensity to night raid that I like. Because it's like, oh no, it deserves that. But I should like electromagnetic storms than night raid, but I don't. It's weird. I don't know. We're not even talking about trials and how they interact with trials. Like, we're going to pretty soon. But like, if we're talking about trials, I do think electromagnetic storm is like some of the better ones. It's so good for trial farming. Because 2 times point, because it's a major condition, which for some reason these aren't. I feel like these should. I guess just these are. I feel like these should, but whatever. My camera died again. It didn't like it. Dude, I gotta figure out what my camera's hating. There's something my camera's hating about, like, setting up. I'm gonna say it's like a blue port, USB port type situation. It doesn't like me clicking on certain things. What the heck? But yeah, I think for trials, we're putting it at A. We're putting it at A. I can't put it at B. I think there's too many reasons for it to be an A alongside Night Raid. Probably better, even though we're not really organizing it from left to right, even though I probably should. But if I were to, I think Electromagnetic Storm should be better than Night Raid. I like Night Raid because it keeps the intensity. And it looks pretty. I think the actual how it looks, there's moments where Electromagnetic Storm looks good, but there's a lot of times where it looks kind of It doesn't actually look that good. But how it interacts with the player is good. I like that a lot. I think it does a lot of good job as like impacting my runs. And trial runs are just so goated on it. It just deserves to be there. Even though it is good, I can see why you put it at A instead of S. S tier, we're deciding only one thing gets to go into S tier. This is the one time we're gonna have two because I'm keeping the maps and the conditions separate. We already had maps, so I decided we would do maps first and then we would do conditions. So we're gonna do all of them, and then at the very end we're gonna pick one S tier. So who knows? Who knows? So yeah, there we go. Next, let's talk about. We're gonna put them up here, both together. The elephants in the room, Bunker and Lock Gate. Bunker and Lock Gate. Oh, why are these major conditions? I think a lot of my problems with these two conditions would be changed if they weren't major conditions. And this is mostly because of trials. I like doing trials. I like trying to get a good rank on trials. And I feel like Bunker and Lock Gate warp it because they're major conditions, so they're 2 times points. They're longer times than every other one. So they're 10 minutes longer so that you could do the little puzzles. And so they just warp it. They warp the meta when it comes to trials. It feels like if you could do a trial on Spaceport Bunker or Blue Gate Lock Gate, you just do it. You just do it there. It's the best one to do it for, usually. And that's dumb. I hate that because they are at weird times, weird specific times, not as common as some of the others, and warping the trial system has made me hate these two things. I will say outside of the trial system, separating them from the trial system, let's talk about them. How do we feel about them? Lock Gate, I did not get to play it when it first came out, but when they re-put it back in the game, I tried it and was super underwhelmed. If you don't know, Lock Gate changes the map and that it turns that whole underground section locked off. It locks it up. And you have to go around the map. There's certain spawn areas where you get 4 different keys. You got to find them. And then you put them together and you unlock the gate. You go inside and you can loot up the inside. Got to go see you hopefully next stream. See you, little doggy. See you, little doggy. Check it out next time. Come back later. Watch the archive of the stream. Find out what I was saying about Buried City. So you get all the key cards, you unlock it, and then go inside to get your loot, and you find out the loot is actually pretty bad. Now, the one actual golden goose, what you're trying to search for, is a blueprint. Bobcat blueprints spawns at Lock Gate. So if you're going to Lock Gate, you're trying to get your Bobcat. That is the only reason, really. And you don't even have to even interact with the whole puzzle to do it. This goes to F tier. This goes to F tier. Nobody's surprised. This needs to be changed. I don't know what they need to do. Maybe make the loot actually worth it. One, now that I actually have my Bobcat blueprint, there's no point for me to go there. I know a lot of people go there just to kill people, just because, etc. There's so many reasons why I want to put it at, like, B. Because I like the fact that it's a puzzle. I like that it's a puzzle that makes players actually, maybe interact the puzzle or PvP or etc. That's kind of interesting. There's also mines just out and about for no reason that can just mess you up. Kind of interesting. But the value, the reward, the thing that incentivizes you from doing it is trash. So it's F tier. It needs to be changed. If they change the loot, I think this could make it like very solid to maybe A tier. But the actual value of what you get back for doing all this is trash. And then on top of it, the fact that it impacts trials makes it trash. Let's get to the second one. Bunker is very similar. Very similar. Go around the map. There's four different antennas. Activate the antennas, which it's a little bit harder to do that than Lock Gate, because it's like you do the antennas and there's swarms of wasps and hornets come on you. You gotta fight them and then you unlock it. And then you go bunker. You go down there. And then you gotta download. You're downloading. And you're downloading at the bunker. And you're downloading. And that's it. Now, I will say, compared to these two, the negatives of the trial, they share. They share the same the trial. The negative of rewards, they pretty much share. Because I think like Tempest blueprints can only spawn at bunker too, but it's not in the bunker, it's just on the map. So it's like kind of similar thing with the Bobcat spawn there. So it's kind of similar. The fact that Warts Trials is a problem, and the reward feels like nothing, right? The loot inside, whatever. It's not as worth it. It's just another room. But there's these downloads. Now, I will say the potential of this could be A tier / probably actually just B tier. Probably just B tier. But the fact that I truly believe the puzzle to the downloads has not been figured out yet. I truly think there's something with the order of downloading or etc. And there's something here that is kind of cool. So I would like to, I honestly want to put this at C. It's better than Lock Gate. I like it. There's aspects to it that are pretty cool. There's a lot of bombardiers and bastions that spawn at the bunker. So even if you just want to go there and just fight a bunch of bastion and bombardiers, that's actually something you could do compared to Lock Gate. Maybe you could do the same with Lock Gate, but I don't think so. So that bumps it up a little bit, makes it better. But the fact that it warps up warps the trials, it doesn't technically have a good incentive because nobody knows how to do it. And right now there's literally a trial that's like, hey, go do them. It needs to be changed, man. It needs to be changed. Again, I think the biggest change is, one, rewards. I know people are gonna say like time zones make it like not as like weird times to do it, but I think the biggest change that would impact it is, one, rewards / make it not a major condition. It does not deserve to be a major condition. I get their major conditions with trial points. I think major conditions, their definition is stuff that impacts the map, like changing the map, and like these technically do fall in line with that, so it makes sense. But I think we're actually impacting the trial system. I think they're bad. They're so bad for it. Let's talk about the most recent major condition that we did just lose. It was just a temporary time, not a permanent one, and that is Cold Snap. Cold Snap, positives and negatives, is the same as Night Raid, Electromagnetic Storms, in that it's higher loot, higher enemies, but instead of dealing with the downside of it's super dark and can't see, it's snowing everywhere. There's snow everywhere, and if you get cold for too long, then you're gonna start taking damage. There's snowballs. You can collect snowballs, which you can use against people or ARG, mostly just people. I have to say, there's also candleberries you can harvest, which are kind of like, if you compare it to electromagnetic storms, like electromagnetic storms like lightning, fossilized lightning that it can spawn in. I think this is a better electromagnetic storm. I think everything I like about electromagnetic storm, I like way more about Cold Snap, because I like how it impacts the player. It makes camping not really a thing because you got to go inside. It makes traversing the map a little different. It just aesthetically looks really appealing and different. Like, I just think it looks better than electromagnetic storms. Get the snow. I like how it impacts the player, with the player looking snowed in. That's so cool. It looks so good. It's just a good vibe, man. And then on top of that, you get the benefits of, hey, higher loot value, higher enemy. I like it way more than even night raids. I like it way more than night raids. The one downside, though, is that it's limited time. If I had to pick S tier out of all these, it deserves to be an A tier alongside these, right? Obviously. But if I had to pick one of these, low key, Cold Snap, it is aching on my heart, pulling on it to be S tier, and that's why it hurts so much that it's gone. It hurts so much that it's limited time. It can't be S tier. It can't be S tier. It can't be S tier. It is above night raids for me, though. I love this so much. If we're going from left to right, I should just move Arc Pros back. It doesn't deserve to be all the way up there. Maps I won't move because it doesn't really matter. But of these, oh gosh, what do I do? There can only be one S tier. Only one S tier. And of these, let's be honest, it's not going to be probes. It's not going to be probes, obviously. But I honestly think it has to be one of the boss fights. Because they're so fun, man. They're so fun. As like a thing to do. And I want to do Matriarch so badly. I want Matriarch to be it. But here's the downside. I do think the synergy of reward to it is a little confounded compared to like Harvester, where there's a whole Harvester thing, a puzzle you could do. So you gotta go in there. If you even brought in Legendary Guns to fight the bosses, which is like the reward that you get for these, it helps kill these, which also kind of does a little weird circle of like, hey, you gotta kill these to get the good weapon, but also the weapon is good for killing these, so you can use them to fight the weapon. So it's kind of like circles back to it. And then even with the Harvester event, he continues that cycle with the fact that like inside the Harvester, you get the ammo for it, which one, if you don't have the gun, is just good money, so you could sell for money, or two, you could use it for the fight. And so it just circles so much better to where I have to put the Queen. I have to put the Queen at S tier. It deserves it so much. The Harvester event deserves to be S tier. I hope they keep designing these boss fights, because like the major conditions are great. Like again, their most recent major condition is up here at A, almost S tier. And I love it so much, but sadly it doesn't have to be up there. But Harvester event, I think, just works so smoothly together. I think compared to fighting the Queen or fighting the Matriarch, I like fighting the Matriarch way more. I think it's way more of a fun fight because of the other things it adds in, etc., etc. It does way more different stuff. Of like, it shoots you, it throws missiles, it does a force field, it also flashbangs you, which is crazy. It gases you. And then the Queen is a little bit more simpler with what it does, but it synergizes with its own functions way more. That I think it deserves the S tier. I think it deserves the S tier. And that's our tier list, everybody. That's our tier list. That's our tier list. All in all, I like conditions that actually impact us, actually impacts and interacts with the player, makes the player play differently. I like them to change the Lush Blooms to give it a better reward or better feel to it. I don't know how they do it, but make it where it's just not a money farm. If it doesn't just impact wicker baskets, if it actually does impact the other stuff, and they need to make that happen, maybe make it spawn even more. I don't know what they do, but it's just a money farm, which is lame. I think these two events need to be changed, even just for the sake of trials on its own, but even for themselves, they need to be changed. And yeah, I like where a lot of these are. Can't hate a lot of these. I hope they keep doing some good conditions in the future. Sounds like they're going to be coming up with a new major condition soon. And I'm pretty pumped. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do in the future. But that's our tier list. So this music is kind of going a little bit too hard. Jeez, golly, calm down. That is our tier list, everybody. Thank you guys for coming out and hanging out for Tier List Tuesday on a Wednesday, everybody. Hope you guys had a good time. Hope you guys enjoyed. Every Tuesday, we're going to be doing a tier list. I will most likely be still streaming it. I'll be streaming it like I did this time. I think it's just better for our system. We can yap about it, talk about it, And yeah, let me know some stuff you want to see tier list. We got arc, we got enemies, we got player behavior. Yeah, you thought I was gonna say weapons. We could do weapons, we could do mods, we could also do skins. I like skins, so we could yap about it. Cosmetics. We could also talk about, as I mentioned, players, the different behavior of players like rats or etc. etc. We have a lot of things we can talk about, and I already mentioned some more in there. We can even talk about trials. We could talk about extract, loot zones. I think loot zones is gonna be interesting. Talk about different loot zones and which ones are higher. So yeah, we got some options, but we're gonna be doing this every Tuesday. Look forward to that. Houston in the chat will be probably joining me on some of these. We'll see. We'll talk about it. Should be fun. But that is it for today. Before you go though, if you want to watch some more, let me see. It should be, I think it's open to the public now. It was open to just members earlier today. Is it open yet? Or am I an hour off? I might be an hour off. No. Let me check. I have a new video come out of a new series I do with Houston, which is the Wheel of Raider, a series where I actually, we decide our whole loadout and what we're doing in a run based on the wheel. Talk about variety. We got variety there, baby. We got variety there. I'm trying to see when this goes live to everybody, to the public, not just members. I thought that was at right now, but it might be in an hour. Which, if you're watching this post, doesn't matter. Doesn't impact you. Let me take a look. Okay, it's in an hour. In an hour. Can I change this, actually? Can I just make it go live now? I should be able to. Right? I have the power! He-Man. Okay. Does that chill? It's not letting me save changes. It might not be possible. Usually is. Usually YouTube's pretty flexible. Okay, I have to do it in the future. That's why. Okay. How close can I get it? All right, well, in 5 minutes, in 5 whole minutes, Planet Namek is gonna explode. Oh, my camera died, man. Aw, I did a fun goof. I did a visual goof. Aw, man. Not my visual goof. In 5 whole minutes, Planet Namek is gonna explode. Oh, my visual goof. Dang it. In 5 minutes. 5 minutes. New video, new series is gonna be coming out. It's out. By the time you're probably watching this, it's probably already out. Check it out. Have a good time. Have a good day. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys later. Jesus loves you. Bye. Let me know also down below if you want to see the other series, One Life series, if you want to see that daily.